Let me guess, you've tried the email time block, you picked your 2 windows a day, you closed the tab in between, and you felt so organized. And then Thursday happened, and somehow you were in your inbox for half the freaking day, your actual work never got touched, and by Friday night, you were checking email in bed. And before you blame your discipline, researchers have actually tested email batching, and what they found is not what the productivity advice keeps promising. And by the end of this video, you're going to have all 6 rules of what I call the triage and route system, and you'll collect them as we go. Each one comes with the science for why it works, because the why is what makes it stick. If we haven't met yet, hi, I'm Janae. I run Productivity Stacks, where we dig into the actual science behind productivity advice for freelancers and small business owners. Subscribe if that sounds useful. And there's a free download in the description, the email triage and route kit, if you want the action steps right now. But stick with me to get all of the steps and the science behind it to really make it stick. So why does the email time block keep collapsing? Well, it's because email is not one kind of task. One message can take a single second. You read the subject line, spam, delete. The next one is a quote request that needs prep, numbers, maybe input from somebody else. That's a multi-day project hiding behind an email to-do task. A time block is one container, one shape. Email delivers packages of every size all day long, so of course they don't fit. And the research backs this up. In one study that tracked workers with computer logs and biosensors, researchers found no evidence that email batching lowered stress, despite all the claims out there. Another team tested batching inside a real company. It helped at first, but the benefits faded within about 2 weeks, meaning the thing that did hold up was checking less often. In a randomized experiment, limiting email checks to 3 times a day lowered people's daily stress. So what does all this mean? It means keep the block, but give it a completely different job. Your email block is a triage block. Its only output is decisions. You're not writing essays in that block. And we're going to calibrate the dose. In my coaching practice, over-batching is real. Let the pile get big enough and opening it becomes its own project. So you avoid it. And now the pile is even bigger, but everybody's different. My husband, for example, batches laundry every few weeks, multiple loads, totally happy with it. I do mine weekly because his version would absolutely bury me. Same chore, different right answer. Research on email backs that bigger idea. People whose email use strays from what they actually want in either direction also report more sources of stress at work. 1 to 3 triage blocks a day, or for some of us per week even. And the right number is the one where opening it doesn't make you flinch or overwhelm you. But rule 1 has a problem. Have you ever caught yourself checking email between blocks? Even when you know better, even when you set those blocks up yourself, that's because your inbox is actually a feed. Research on checking habits shows they're built and reinforced by quick little informational rewards, and the unpredictable timing is the same mechanism that makes slot machines work. Now, you probably already know that social media is built this way on purpose. Email wasn't. Nobody sat down and engineered your inbox to hook you, but in today's world, it ends up having the exact same effect because every refresh can hand you nothing or a new client or a complaint. Neutral, happy, upsetting. You never know which. And that uncertainty is exactly what keeps your brain pulling the lever. Early research on smartphones even hints that we may reach for our phones more when we're stressed, like a little self-soothing ritual. And I bet for a lot of us, that reach includes hitting refresh on our email app, whether it's on the smartphone or a browser tab. I can say all this because I was a chronic researcher myself. Refresh, nothing new. Tiny hint of relief. Feel a little productive. Repeat. Until the day the refresh delivers the angry client email or the bad news. And now that thing owns your whole afternoon. During time that you didn't plan to give it. That was not part of your time block. You didn't say, be upset for the next 3 hours. Now, I'll be fully transparent. To this day, I use an app blocker on my email outside of working hours. Current me, not past me. Willpower was never going to win against a machine that behaves like a casino, so I stopped asking it to. But you can't just block the lever if something truly urgent has nowhere to go. Sometimes there really are urgent things that we need to handle. So here's what you do. Put your check times in your email signature, not just the auto reply to signature, and also your auto reply, so people know when to expect a response. And give them an urgent ripcord for the truly on-fire stuff. Mine is a separate urgent-only email address that does send notification to my phone and skips the app blocker. I like it better than phone calls because I still get the context in writing. And let's be real, with as many spam calls as so many of us get these days, I'm not answering my phone anyway. My exact setup for all of this, the apps, the addresses, the notification settings, is going to be in that kit down below. Now, once you've set that up and urgent has its own door, that refresh between blocks loses its excuse and you can finally let it go. But wait, there's another trap. And I've named it with my coaching clients. I call it real quickitis. That's what we come down with when we get a belief that a reply or something we do is going to be real quick, just a few seconds. And then you surface an hour later. Psychologists have a name for this, and it's called the planning fallacy. People reliably underestimate how long their own tasks are going to take. And even when your estimate is right, 10 seconds times 100 emails is no longer 10 seconds. There's also a sneakier version that I watch happen with clients constantly. You reply fast, and they reply faster. And suddenly, you're having a DM conversation by email. Every instant reply trains the other person to expect the next one. If a reply is truly 10 seconds, got it, thanks, yes or no, okay, send it. But the moment that you catch yourself composing, stop. That's now a task, and tasks don't live in the inbox. Where they do live is coming up next. One reply, if it's truly that quick response per thread per block, even if they answer instantly. You're not being slow, you're teaching people your rhythm. Last piece, and it's my favorite finding in this whole video. Your inbox, guys, is an archive. It's a record of conversations. The trouble starts when we also use it as a to-do list, because then every glance reopens every unfinished thing in there. Research suggests that when something pulls you away from unfinished work, part of your brain stays stuck on it. Researchers call this attention residue, and it gets especially sticky when you know that you're going to be coming back to that task under time pressure. And here's the good news from the same paper. In 2 experiments, taking a moment to write a brief plan for how you're going to pick that task back up significantly reduced that residue. And performance on the next task stopped suffering. One honest note, they didn't test whether the plan helps you finish the original task later, but that attention residue is what hurts the task that comes after it. Letting go cleanly is the key, and that is what fixes this issue. Okay, anything bigger than 10 seconds goes into your task system. For me, it's ClickUp with the email thread hyperlink pasted right in and one line on the next action. That one line is the plan from the research that we just talked about. When a sponsor emails me about the newsletter, the thread link goes into ClickUp with a note on the next step. Sometimes I even email them from inside ClickUp, so replies land right on the task. 30-minute plus items get a calendar block. The calendar event links to the task links to the thread. See how that works? You do the work without ever opening the inbox, so that slot machine never gets a turn with your brain. So there you have it, the triage and route system. Rule 1, sort, don't solve. Rule 2, build the escape valve. Rule 3, the 10-second rule. Rule 4, the cadence rule. Rule 5, route with the link. Rule 6, schedule the big ones. And all 6 rules are in the free email triage and route kit in the description, plus something that's not in this video at all, the exact way my email is set up, from personal to work, apps, urgency, notifications, the whole machine. And that's how this chronic refresher who needed an app blocker doesn't ever rely on refresh anymore. And honestly, it's because there's nothing left to decide in there. Anything urgent has its own door, everything else has an appointment. Email was built to deliver your work, and somewhere along the way, we let it start scheduling our days, and it was never really built for that. So tell me in the comments, I know I'm not alone in this. What's the longest real quick email has ever taken you? Let's share. I read every single one, and I'll catch you in the next video.